So let us discuss about the important things related to Nernst equation, how to find the EMF or E naught EMF of a cell, voltaic cell, different kinds of voltaic cells using the E naught values of electrochemical series. Let us observe here we have zinc copper voltaic cell is there. This left side we have zinc electrode, right side we have copper electrode is there. And a zinc half cell is anode which is negative, copper half cell is cathode which is positive electrode. While that of zinc electrode we have oxidation takes place, that of copper electrode reduction takes place. It is very clear. And the cell reaction, if you see Zn plus Cu2 plus gives rise to Zn2 plus Cu. You don't know what is the E cell when we have concentrations taken 1 molarity each. So that time we can find the reaction coefficient that is equals to concentration of zinc ion by concentration of Cu2 plus ion, and the concentrations both are equal means this QC will become 1. Using Nernst equation, the E naught cell minus RT by NF into log Q, whereas E naught of this galvanic cell is 1.10 volts, that of R is 8.314. Number of electrons transferred in the equation is 2 electrons and Faraday is 96,500. Substituted that values in the Nernst equation, got EMF value is 1.10 volts. Here, this is the observation we have. So we have taken 1 molarity. Now we see concentration changed, copper ion concentration changed in this diagram. So then what will happen? QC value we got is 10. Okay, that time after observing the EMF of the cell, we have found which is decreased less than whatever 1.10, means when the concentration of copper ion is decreased, then cell potential will be lesser than the E naught cell of the standard states. This is the most important thing. That means why it is happening is E cell decreases when the concentration of the copper ion decreases. According to Le-Chatelet principle, this copper ion equation, that means Cu2 plus 2E minus gives rise to Cu. When the concentration of Cu is decreasing, then what will happen is equilibrium shift towards left side to according to Le-Chatelet principle. So this is one very good information we have. Next, we see if the concentration of copper ion is increased by 10 molarity, we have taken here 10 molarity. And then the concentration of copper is taken 10 molarity, QC value we got is 0.1. And in the Nernst equation of substitution of these values, EMF of the cell we got is more than 1.10, because the equilibrium shift towards right in the according to Le-Chatelet principle, and concentration of the copper ion is said to be increased, means definitely the E cell will be increased. Another observation, let us see how the EMF changes when zinc concentration reduced and copper concentration remains 1 molarity as per the standard states. In this condition, once the QC is calculated, when the anode concentration, zinc solution concentration reduced, that time also we got QC value 0.1 and EMF is 1.15, means anode concentration reduces, also E cell increases than the standard electrode potential. Okay, that is noticed because zinc electron equation, if you see, this anode concentration decreases, equilibrium shift to the left side. That means E cell will be more positive and zinc is more able to lose electrons in this one. Moving on to the another kind of observation we have, that is when the zinc concentration is increased to 10 times of that 1 molarity, means 10 molarity we have taken, that time QC we got is 10, That means EMF of the cell got 1.07, and that indicates that zinc concentration increases, EMF of the cell decreases. So E cell is decreasing because less positive value is there for E cell, because zinc is less able to lose electrons in this condition and the concentration increases. Another kind of observation you can see, zinc concentration and copper concentration both are taken differently. Means zinc concentration is taken 0.1, copper concentration taken as 10 molarity. At time QC value we got 0.01. That QC value substituted in the energy equation we got 1.16 volts. What is the meaning of this one is E cell of zinc decreases. E cell increases when zinc concentration decreases, and E cell increases when copper concentration increases. This is what happened. Zinc concentration we have decreased, copper concentration we have increased. That time both the cases EMF of the cell becoming positive and more positive than the standard condition. So this value we got is 1.16 as per the calculations. Now, what are the actual things happening in this one is nothing but E naught value do not depend on the surface area of the metal electrode is one of the important factor, and E cell is energy per unit charge, that is joule per coulomb. E cell 10 volts is there, that time 10 joules energy released, 1 coulomb of charge is flowing, that is the meaning of it. If 100 joules of energy is released means 10 coulombs of charge is flowing. So increasing the surface area of metal will not increase the E cell is the resultant. And surface area increases, then what are the things will happen is the total charge increases and current increases, total energy increases, but cell remains the same. Means E cell remains the same. Why? Because I is equals to Q by T. Then Q is increasing, then current increases. So that is what we have shown in this one also. 100 coulombs flow, and that means 110 joules is released. Then what is E cell? E cell is 1.10 volts, because surface area taken 10 centimeter square, and total charge is 100 coulombs leave electrodes, then E cell is equals to 1.1 volts is 1.1 joule energy for 1 coulomb. So 1 coulomb releases 1.1 joule energy in this one. 100 coulombs releases 110 energies, so joule energy. So voltmeter measure energy for 1 coulomb is 110 joule by 100 coulombs is 1.1 volts. So E cell has no change in this one. Here we got E cell value, here we got E cell value same. Next, see surface area is exposed to 100 means also E cell value we got the same. So there is no dependence of surface area on the E cell of the voltaic cell. So we have here one important point, current. What is mean by current is measured in amperes or coulomb per second. 1 ampere is 1 coulomb charge passed through a point through in 1 second. 1 coulomb charge is 6.28 into 10 to the power of 18 electrons passing in 1 second. That is the definition of coulomb. So 1 ampere will become 1 coulomb by 1 second. Coulomb value substituted in this one. After that we got 1 electron or proton or charge of minus 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 is very small compared to this other values. So that means 6.028 into the power of 18 electrons carry 1 coulomb. That's the meaning of it. Now, you see this Nernst equation E is equals to E naught minus RT by NF into log Q, which is E cell depends on these conditions: nature of electrode, concentration of ion, temperature of the solution. Does not depend on surface area of contact, salt bridge concentration, and size of. So here E naught cell, what is the thing is EMF in volts in standard condition, that is electromotive force in volts will be in standard condition, that is called E naught cell. And another thing here is E naught cell indicates that shows is or tendency of a species to accept or lose electrons. So that E naught cell meaning is that one for every electrode. If E naught cell is positive, then standard electrode potential of this any of the electrode is there, that indicates that that is a strong oxidizing agent, also weak reducing agent, which will accept electrons. When the E naught cell is E naught value is negative in the electrochemical series, then that is called a strong reducing agent that will behave like a weak oxidizing agent, or it may lose electrons, means it undergoes oxidation. Coming to the E naught value written as a standard reduction potential value, which do not depend on stoichiometric coefficient. See, that is most important point. Another point we have is EMF is nothing but energy per unit charge, that is joule per coulomb. And EMF, if it is 10 volts, what is the meaning of it? 10 joules energy released by 1 coulomb charge. And 100 joules energy released by 10 coulomb charge. 1000 joules energy is released by 100 coulombs charge. That means EMF is 10 volts. 10 volts is the meaning of this thing is. So E naught value indicates it is an intensive property according to thermodynamics. It independent of the amplitude. That means ratio of charge, ratio of energy to the charge, that is called as E naught. And E naught value, if it is positive, suggests that reaction feasible and do not tell the rate. It does not tell the rate of the reaction, but it tells that reaction is possible. This is regarding the comparison between the electrochemistry and chemical kinetics. Feasible may be slow, give no indication of the rate. So positive E naught value indicates reaction is feasible, and positive E naught value is indicating that energetically feasible but kinetically not feasible. So this is the most important point to be noticed according to the Nernst equation. So once again, what is Nernst equation? E is equals to E naught minus RT by NF into log Q, where R is gas constant 8.314 and T is temperature in Kelvin and Q is the reaction coefficient and E naught is the standard electrode potential value at 1 molarity concentration. But here N in the Nernst equation, it depends on the equation, that is number of electrons transferred. F is Faraday's constant, that is 9500 coulombs per mole. As we have discussed, the E naught cell dependence, E naught cell is depending on these three factors: nature of electrode, type of metal used, and concentration of the ion, temperature of the solution. But it does not depend on surface area of contact, salt bridge concentration, size of the cation and anion. Coming to the what are the other factors which depends on current per I value, that is surface area of contact depends on surface area of the contact, salt bridge concentration and size of cation and anion. So it indicates that resistance is high, means the current flow is low. Okay. See, uses of standard electrode potential SEP data. Relative strength of oxidizing and reducing agents we can understand. Here you can see zinc and tin. If you take a zinc and tin, then their reaction between zinc and tin, will it happens or not? If you check it from this one, then E naught value got is positive. This is indicates that this reaction is spontaneous. That means reaction to happen, oxidizing agent, strong oxidizing agent, reducing agent, strong reducing agent, for both the sides if you take, then it is possible. Another thing, if you take reaction to happen between chlorine and iodine, see, reaction between chlorine and iodine also, if you take do the calculation, E naught value got is plus 0.82 volts, means positive. So it is also spontaneous. So this reaction possibility between the two different kinds of substances can be understood from this one. Another one, relative strength of oxidizing and reducing agents gives E naught value if it is for magnesium and potassium. If you do the reaction, the E naught value calculation we got is negative because that reaction is not possible. Why? Because oxidizing agent is weak, reducing agent is weak. So reaction never takes place between the two oxidizing agents from same sites. And another one, reaction never happens between reducing agents also, that is these compounds like zinc and tin. See, zinc and tin equilibrium happens both losing electrons, so it's non-spontaneous in this case. And uses of standard electrode potential data, if you check it, zinc copper, that is galvanic cell, Daniell cell, whereas the formula need to be understand is E naught cell is equals to E naught cathode minus E naught anode. So find E naught cell of this compound. Then after finding we got 1.10, we have already observed that one earlier. So it indicates that this reaction is spontaneous reaction. Next, uses of standard electrode potential SCP data for using E naught using electrode potential data for copper and silver half cell. Copper and silver, today copper we have 0.34 and silver is 0.80. The difference is 0.46 we got. That 0.46 indicates it's also spontaneous reaction. And finding the E naught value using the standard electrode potential of manganese and nickel. We have manganese value, that is minus 1.19, and nickel is minus 0.26. So in substituting these things, that means nickel is a big value, so nickel is taken as cathode and manganese is taken as anode. The difference after finding this E naught cell value is positive. So positive means this manganese and nickel reaction is spontaneous reaction is positive. Next, uses of standard electrode potential SCP data determining the spontaneity of the reaction. So, how it is said to be spontaneous? It is spontaneous when the E naught value got is positive. When the E naught value got is negative, it is non-spontaneous. For example, zinc and tin, if you see, zinc and tin reaction E naught value calculated, that the value is got plus 0.62, means it is spontaneous. While that of this iodine and iodine and copper, if you take iodine, we have this value is plus 0.54 and that of copper is plus 0.34. Once the E naught cell value calculated using the ERHS minus ELHS, you got E naught value is minus 0.20 volts, indicates it is non-spontaneous. So that can be understand from by taking different kinds of electrodes and we can check it. That is positive comes means spontaneous, negative comes means that is non-spontaneous. So determining the spontaneity of the reaction, this E naught cell value is very much useful. Finally, if you see between copper and hydrogen electrodes, the copper electrode potential value, how we got the E cell is minus 0.34 volts. So this reaction is non-spontaneous. And that of E naught value, when we calculate chlorine and fluorine, iron, the reaction is minus 0.59 volts got, that is also non-spontaneous. So like this different kinds of reactions, there are spontaneous and non-spontaneous. Understanding from the oxidizing and reducing behavior. Oxidizing agent is weak, reducing agent weak means the reaction may goes to non-spontaneity. Oxidizing agent, reducing agents strength can be understand from E naught value. So that is the entire thing which is involved in this observation of electrochemical series. With the help of Nernst equation, we can find E cell of the E cell at different concentrations, but with the help of electrode potential we can find the strength of this one. So in this we are going to learn about iron rusting of iron concept, which is belongs to our electrochemistry topic of formation of electrochemical cell. Here, the rusting of iron is nothing but this will takes place only when iron is more reactive. That means that loses electrons, and when moisture is there in the atmosphere with oxygen, oxygen is less reactive, which will works as a cathode. That means iron works as should work as anode, and oxygen works as cathode. That gains electrons. So here iron rust is in presence of water with oxygen. That is forming cathode. And iron galvanized and coated with zinc. Okay, that is the reason behind rusting of iron. So why we are coating iron means that is galvanized iron is said to be protected from this rusting. Iron and steel galvanized with the tin also we are observing here. These all have taken precautions we are taking because iron rusts in presence of water and oxygen. How galvanizing reduces rusting? Zinc forms a sacrificial metal cathodic protection, and zinc is more reactive, less electrons instead of iron. So it will lose electrons instead of iron. Electron flow to oxygen water region, then prevents the iron rusting. That means loss of electrons. So iron losses electrons, that is oxidation phenomena, that is rusting of iron, that can be controlled by coating of the surface of iron with zinc. So here if you observe the picture, rust deposit, that is formalize Fe2O3 rust form, and Fe2 plus is iron with oxygen. That reaction, if you observe in this reaction, there is a water droplet here shown. This is all one water droplet, and iron loses electrons, and oxygen gains electrons in these two equations. So iron is anode, oxidation takes place, and oxygen water is cathode, that their reduction takes place. So now if you see anodic region, if you apply zinc coating over the iron, what will happen? Zinc loses electrons, and that electrons will be taken by oxygen converting into OH minus ions. Scratch in zinc layer it is. Okay, zinc metal will be separated out. Here if you do like this, so here Fe flow electrons, here flow electrons, and Fe, that means Fe is not going to get affected when we apply zinc over it. And see oxidized potential of zinc is plus 0.76, and for that of oxidized potential of iron is plus 0.44. For that of oxygen, this is the value is minus 0.40. So if you use these things, zinc lose electrons more readily than iron is the meaning of it. Now dissolving oxygen in water when it takes place means immediately when the electrons comes from this iron or zinc, then this oxygen will get dissolved in water, converts into OH minus ions. And in the atmosphere also there are some H plus ions will be generated as some of the impurities like carbonic acid and are present. So they will convert oxygen into water also. Now here if you do the application of zinc, it will takes place like this. If you are not doing the application of zinc, what will happen is rusting of iron takes place. So rusting of iron, chemical equation when you observe iron undergoes oxidation, E naught value is plus 0.44, and reduction takes place at cathode with oxygen water taking electrons, and there is a total E naught value is plus 0.84 irrespective of the balanced equation, because we have taken balanced equation by multiplying the first equation with 2, and this in this reaction E naught value is positive, means it's a spontaneous reaction. So in this spontaneous reaction rust is FeOH twice, and cathode place OH minus ions will come out. If you use zinc in iron, responsibility will be taken by zinc, and zinc undergoes oxidation. That means zinc will get oxidized instead of iron. That means zinc will protect iron. This is called as galvanization of iron. Let us observe few things. Redox reactions. So state which is able to convert Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus. So here we have a competitive reactions are there. Aluminium is there, iodine, Fe3 plus, H2O reaction, cobalt reaction, all these things. If E value is positive, that is called as oxidizing agent. Strong oxidizing agent will have more positive values will be there. Oxidation potential values. See, oxidation potential value, reduction potential values are opposite in sign only. So when you take electron in the left side of the equation, that is reduction potential value. When you take equation right side, that is oxidation potential value. So finally, when E naught value once you calculated using the next equation or E RHS minus ELHS formula, if you got positive, then you can easily construct a voltaic cell considering these electrodes, single electrodes. Now, what is redox reaction? It means redox reaction is arranging the species in order to increase the oxidation and reducing strength. Means reduction oxidation takes place in this one. So we have zinc is there. Zinc reduction potential value is minus 0.76. Bromine is there. That is a plus 1.07. Iodine plus 0.54. Iron plus 0.77. Manganese that is plus 0. Plus 1.51. That means when you arrange this one in the increasing E naught values means first zinc will become because it is very less up to manganese. If you arrange it, what will happen is manganese is said to be strong oxidizing agent, while that of zinc is said to be strong reducing agent, because E naught value standard reduction potential value is very less means that is strong reducing agent. High means that is strong oxidizing agent. Between them the reaction is easy. So E is indicating that most positive is strong oxidizing agent and E is most negative is strong reducing agent. That's why we arrange like this, that is manganese, permanganate, bromine, Fe3 plus, I2, Zn2 plus. Reducing agent arrangement we want, right? Then zinc will be strong reducing agent and it will be reversed to this one. And see another example we have. Arrange in order to increase the reducing strength of strong reducing agents and all. So arrange in order of increasing reducing strength. This is the question. In this we have a list of some examples are there, ions. This one if you take Xc 3 plus is minus 1.56 is the standard reduction potential value. Y2 plus is minus 2.7. Z2 plus is plus 0.70. So if you arrange in the increasing order, what will happen, sir? First Y2 plus will come, next X3 plus will come, next Z2 plus will come. So when the E naught value is increasing, reducing agent strength decreases. That's why Y greater than X greater than Z is the order of increasing order of reducing strength of these electrodes. That's what here you can observe one most important point here. What will happen when titanium is added to an acid? Here titanium we have E naught value is minus 1.63 and that of hydrogen is 0. So when you do the chemical reaction, E naught value is spontaneous reaction takes place. While that of when you see the gold is added to acid, what will happen means gold we have E naught value is plus 1.5. These are all reduction potential values only we are discussing. And once the reaction is observed, the E naught value calculated is minus K minus 1.58. So gold should not be added to acid. That is the meaning of it. There are some precautions to be taken that can be easily understand from this E naught values of these different reducing agents and oxidizing agents. Okay, this is that. That's all. This is about our electrochemical series. So have a knowledge of electrochemical series to crack the questions in the exams.